Einstein had a fan club of just one. Luckily, it happened to be the most important living physicist.
Einstein. Einstein. Max Planck has sent someone to see you.
Max Planck?
Yes, he has sent his assistant. He's here to see you.
Max Planck encourages the world's most eminent physicists to take Einstein seriously. After 4 years of waiting, he is appointed professor of physics at Zurich University. From there, his career is meteoric. He is made professor of physics in Berlin, achieves world renown, and becomes a household name. He is the undisputed father of modern physics. But Einstein's success was the downfall of his marriage. In 1919, he divorced Mileva and married his cousin. His fame led to numerous affairs. E equals mc² became the holy grail of science. It held out the promise of vast reserves of energy locked deep inside the atom. Einstein suspected that it would take 100 years of research to unlock it, but he hadn't banked on the Second World War and the genius of a Jewish woman in Hitler's Germany. "28-year-old Austrian Lise Meitner was painfully shy. Despite her anxiety, the young doctor of physics arrived in Berlin determined to pursue a career in the exciting new field of radioactivity. Unfortunately, in 1907, German universities did not employ female graduates. Luckily, one man came to her aid.
Fräulein Meitner.
Yes?
Otto Hahn. I'm a researcher in the Chemistry Institute. Professor Planck suggested I...
Herr Hahn, I have read your papers on thorium and on mesothorium, and Dr. Planck suggested that
Yes, he suggested that I speak with you. I need someone to collaborate with.
I think I could really help with the physical analysis.
And the mathematics.
Yes. And the mathematics.
Studying radioactive atoms has become so much a collaboration between chemistry and physics these days.
Yes.
I'll ask Fischer for a laboratory then.
Excellent.
I'll speak to you soon.
Lise Meitner had just taken the first step on a journey that would irrevocably change world history. For her, it would be a road marked with success and renown, but also with terror and betrayal.
At this time, not a lot was known about the atom. At first, people thought it was like a miniature solar system. There was a solid nucleus at the center, and electrons would spin around it, sort of like planets around our sun. A little later, some researchers proposed that the nucleus itself wasn't a solid chunk, but was made up of separate particles of protons and neutrons. But then, in what are called radioactive metals, things like radium and uranium, the nucleus itself seemed to be unstable, leaking out energy and particles. Perhaps this was an example of E equals mc squared, the mass of a nucleus turning into energy.
Meitner and Hahn's collaboration to unlock the secrets of the atom started out on an extremely unequal footing. He was given a laboratory. She was forced to work in a wood shop.
I see you haven't set your hair on fire.
Herr Hahn?
The boss, he thinks that if he lets women into the chemistry institute, they'll set their hair on fire.
Oh, so his beard must be fireproof.
Good day, Herr Hahn.
Good day.
You see, I am non-existent to this place. At least physicists recognize me for my abilities.
Yes, where would we chemists be without the steadying hand of the physicist?
It took years, but Lisa lost her shyness eventually. In 1912, she and Hahn moved to the brand new Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Chemistry, where the status was really that of equals. Lisa became the first woman in Germany ever to have the title of professor.
Lisa, I have news. Remember the art student I told you of?
Yes, Edith.
Yes, well, I have asked her to marry me, and she has accepted.
Oh, Dr. Hahn, congratulations.
Yes, well, I wanted you to be the first to know.
I'm very pleased for you. Very pleased.
Lisa Meitner was warm-hearted by nature. She had many friends, and she may have wanted to have a closer relationship with Otto, but it really does seem that physics was Lisa's first love, maybe even her passion.
The 1920s and 30s were the golden age of nuclear research. The largest known nucleus at the time was that of the uranium atom, containing 238 protons and neutrons. Meitner and Hahn were leading the race to see if even bigger nuclei could be created by adding more neutrons.
So, the atom, pretty familiar. Nucleus in the center, electrons orbiting around. The nucleus is our focus. The nucleus made up of protons and neutrons. Now, the largest nucleus that we know is that of the uranium atom. Its nucleus is a tightly packed structure of 238 protons and neutrons. The thrust of our work is to try to fire neutrons into this huge structure, and if we can get a neutron to stick in here, it will be a breakthrough.
Meitner may have been on the brink of a major discovery, but Germany in the 1930s was a dangerous place to be, even for a world-class scientist.
The US endangers our institute.
When the Nazis came to power, one of the first things they did was to drive out Jewish academics from the universities. Einstein was very prominent, and for that reason, he was one of the first to go. He was hounded out of Germany in 1933. Lisa was not dismissed at that time. She was able to stay because she was Austrian. But in March 1938, Austria was annexed into Germany, and at that point, her situation became untenable.
What is it?
Frightening news.
What's happened?
Kurt Hess is going around saying that I should be got rid of.
I actually knew. I heard today I was going to speak to the treasurer of the institute before I told you. We'll speak to him tomorrow. Come on, let's get you home. It's late. We'll finish up.
The pressure on Meitner was unbearable. Hahn, who was known for his anti-Nazi views, did his best to protect her, at least initially.
I need to talk to you about Lisa.
Not now, I'm too busy.
We have to protect her.
How? What can we do? The situation is the way it is. Who knows what will happen next? She can't stay. It's just not tenable.
But she hasn't got a visa or even a valid passport. And she may soon be forbidden to leave Germany.
We can't harbor a Jew. If she stays, the regime will shut us all down.
Lisa. Orline demands that you leave.
You can't throw her out.
Orline says you should not come into the institute anymore.
Well, I have to write up the thorium irradiation tomorrow, so I have to come in.
You've given up.
When it became clear that Meitner would be dismissed and probably arrested, physicists all around Europe wrote letters inviting her to conferences, giving her an excuse to leave Germany. The Nazis refused to let her go. In July of 1938, a Dutch colleague traveled to Berlin and illegally took Lisa back with him on a train to Holland. The trip was so frightening that at one point she begged to go back. Despite the great danger, she got through.